Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So today we're going to talk about Budget 2024 webinar. Okay. So I think everyone know our budget was unveiled on 30th of October by our Prime Minister, Dr. Anwar. Okay. So for the past 2 weeks, we do post in social media, in our Facebook, in our LinkedIn, all the update, all the insights on the tax budget matters. So today, I'm glad we have our Miss Lim. She's Miss Lim. She is our customer care manager. She will share some of issues insight on Budget 2024. So without any undue delay, let's go for it. Okay. Basically, we will cover few issues, the tax budget, something. So we will talk about individual, personal. We will talk about companies. We talk about tax exemptions. We talk about tax incentive. We talk about some stamp duties, indirect tax,
Payroll.
and finally we talk about some payroll issues.
And others.
Ultimately, we will cover some other issues. Okay. So other issues, yes, you may heard about the capital gain tax. We will cover briefly about that. Okay. So let's start with Ms. Lim. What's the impact to personal tax individual?
Basically, impact for individual is more on expansion of the relief. So basically, according to the Budget 2024, the expansions of the medical relief granted to taxpayer, spouse and child. Existing the relief was at 10,000, and then it's expanded the scopes of the relief to the dental, and then the amount is limited to 1,000. Next, expenses relief is granted to parents, and then it's purely expand on the scopes where taxpayer bring their both parents for the full medical checkup. The limit amount is also extended, limited to 1,000, and all these two medical expenses is effective from YA 2024.
So basically, I will summarize that because our population is aging, and then medical fee is going up year by year. I think government has looked into it. So basically, it will say that medical fees relief now include dentists. Okay. Also, our parents, they also give some additional allowance, right?
Full medical examinations.
Yeah, okay. So please proceed. Others?
Others category is expanded the lifestyle. With existing lifestyle, they granted the relief of 2,500 per year. Then the lifestyle actually cover the purchase of reading materials, and then now it's expanded the scope to includes the fee, any fee for self-skills enhancement costs. Subsequently, they also remove and categorize the sports equipments to another new category, and the sports equipment activity they granted the relief up to a limit of 1,000. For the lifestyle, for the self-skills enhancement cost, the relief is granted up to 2,500 per year. This also effective from YA 2024.
So before I proceed, let me say something because first you must ensure all the changes effective from which year. Okay, some are immediate effects, some is effect from next year, some depend until gazetted orders. So sometimes it takes years. As you go along, you will notice some of the issues we will discuss in our last budget or last budget already. Yet, it still haven't finalized because it still haven't put into law. So in Malaysia, everything need to be gazetted and then it becomes law. So I think Ms. Lee have covered all these things is effect from 2024. Okay. So basically, you will say that lifestyles and sports, so they split into two. Previously, it's lumped into one.
Correct.
So they split into two. I think it's quite comprehensive. You can refer back to our social medias, or you can Google. Because every time we receive calls from clients and it's my sport.
Deductible. Claim for relief.
If I play piano or violin, is it deductible? Is it fall under lifestyle, thing like that? Please, there's a list. The list is very long.
Correct.
So please read through the list and then come. You're not sure, you come back to us. Okay.
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 Okay. So the next relief is about the upgrading the skills and also enhance courses fee. So this is another expansion. It now include the scopes of language, if you are willing to learn some other language, photography as a hobby, or sewing. And this limit is also up to 2,000, and this one is extended from 2024 until 2026 for a period of 3 years.
I think for the past few years, government have been emphasized on lifelong learnings.
Correct.
So this thing have been put into years for many years already. So I think this is a good move that government includes some for language, because previously it's all restricted to work related. If I'm not mistaken. Now we need lifestyle. Okay. So they allow language, they allow, I think for young people like you guys, you like to learn Korean, right? Korean language, K-pop, right? you love K-drama, right? K-pop drama. So maybe you should take the opportunity to seize and then learn the K language, Korean language, okay? Got photographer, photograph and all these things, okay? Please, next. I think next is interesting, Ms. Lim will cover.
The next, consider the last expansions of the release is to promoting the environmental friendly of the world. Basically, it's cover the electrical vehicles. We call it EV. Any facility for charging the EV, they granted a relief for the expenses on installations. You rent, you purchase the use of EV charging equipment. They granted a relief up to 2,000, and this one is also an extension from year 2024 until 2027 for a period of 4 years.
I think EV is very popular now. I think, of course, Tesla is the king of the EV cars. I think that, but China is coming big. So EV have been in the past budget for years already. I think now is they try to extend, they try to increase, things like that. So with this, I think we covered the individual. Next, we move to company, Sunnyberg Heart. So what are the main changes? Perhaps Ms. Lim can throw some light to us.
In companies, basically, for the tax part, it will cover more on the tax deductions, whether the expenditure is deductible or not, then followed by any deduction on the capital allowance. So for tax deduction now, they are more focused on ESG, environmental, social and governance. So this related expenditure related to ESG, they granted expenditure relief up to 50,000 per year of assessment, and then it's applicable from year 2024 onwards definitely, and then up to year 2027.
Okay, I think we do receive on and off some calls from our clients on ESG matters. I think the Masali companies, the big company, multinational companies require the vendor or even the client, customer to comply the ESG matters. It's quite comprehensive. So some of our clients, even SME client, because the holding company or the suppliers, they want their clients in compliance with ESG. So government, this thing will be in thing for coming years, because we talk about equalities, we talk about environmental, we talk about equal pay, woman right, all these things, right? So government has seen this. So say government says that if you engage a consultant, government willing to sponsor you or give you a grant relief for tax deductions. Bear in mind, all fees in the past is quite sensitive in the sense that because for fees to fall under tax deductions, you need to fall under Section 33. Okay, so in the past, audit fees, tax agent fees, government have give concessions.
Correct.
Okay, you can read the public ruling, all these things. So I think ESG is a good move as well, because many clients will engage consultant to go for ESG matters. Okay, I hope it's clear your doubt. If not clear, please come and see our customer care managers, Miss Lim. Okay, next.
Next will be a subsequence from EV also, but this one is more on a company level. So they granted deductions on the rentals of non-commercial EV, and these deductions is allowed up to 300,000, and then this is also extensions from prior year. Now it effective from year YA 2025 to YA 2027 for a period of 2 years.
I think this is off topic. I think on and off client do call up us and then ask, I'm going to buy a company car. Should the company car put under the company names, meaning ABC Sanjay Berhad, or can I put under the personal names? To me, as long as it is used for in the production of income, i.e. for business purpose, it can be used for, it can register under personal name. Not necessarily you have to register under company name. Okay, this is very clearly spelled out in the public ruling, I think 20 years ago. Okay, so this is clear cut. As long as the question I ask is this car or is this vehicle used for company purpose?
Business purpose.
Business purpose. That's it. Okay. So our government also sees that the EV car matters or not. So I think this is also covered in past budget reading.
Correct.
So these are any extension or this is all increment. Then anything?
Next, definitely for companies, they will definitely take note on the capital allowance, whether any qualifying expenditure incurred in the company is allowed for allowance. So now under this budget, there's two allowance now. First is they revisit the initial allowance, we call it IA, and at the 40% instead of prior year 20%, and then annual allowance, we call it AA at 20%. So this claiming, it will reduce for a period of 4 years to 3 years, and then this also effective from YA 2024.
I think perhaps I can elaborate more on these ICTs. Okay, so yes, this thing in the past, government have give special allowance on ICT. ICT stand for
computers, equipment,
information computer, I think.
Software.
But as I said just now, sometimes government give us some special things or special relief. It's true, gazetted orders. Normally in the gazetted order, they will spell out the terms from which year until which year. Okay, within these years, taxpayer are entitled to claim
capital
special things from the government. After the expiry of these terms, you go back to a normal. Okay, so actually ICT have been in the past. We have been claiming all these things already. Only thing that I say is that it come to the end of the term, government now is for extension.
More on extension.
Understand or not? So all this law, that's why law is getting more and more complicated in the sense that because some tax relief or tax deduction is only valid for certain years. It's not forever. So we have, every time we have to look back and then whether this is over already or not. So ICT is basically its extension of the period. Okay?
Okay. So next will be the industrial building allowance. So basically this is more applicable to those private nursing home for senior citizen. This industrial building allowance is must be approved by Minister of Health because it's applicable to the senior citizen and it's a nursing home care. And this expenditure, they granted AA at 10% of the total cost of the building. And also including the renovation cost.
I think people may confuse, okay? So let's say you buy a factory. Can the taxpayer claim anything from the factories? The answer is yes. You can claim through industry capital allowance, okay? So as long as in the past, you can refer back to Schedule 6, Schedule 6, this is a bit technical, Schedule 6 of Income Tax Act, okay? So it will say that a certain category of the building is eligible for industrial building allowance. Strictly speaking, you will say that factory is allowed. Warehousing for certain purpose, yes. Hostel for your staff, yes, something like that. Now, government extend to
private nursing home.
Private nursing home. So meaning, because as I said in the beginning, our population is getting more and more older. So old man is quite common in Malaysia already. So we have to take care of. So otherwise, businessmen won't invest in old folks home. Understand now? I put it this way, Okay. Next.
Next will be on the tax exemptions.
So we cover individual, first part, individual, we cover the companies. Okay. Third, we will briefly cover some tax exemptions, but not much, okay, not much of issues, okay? So please proceed, Ms. Lim.
Okay, as you're aware, the tax exemption is actually exempt the income. So basically, number one, they explore a side of area of the exemption income for those child care allowance. For working parents, definitely your child, you will put them in the child care. So the company granted any child care allowance. From this budget, we can see that they grant tax exemptions on the income under perquisite. And then this is an increase of the tax exemptions from 2,400 to 3,000 per year. And this is effective from YA 2024.
2004 to 3,600 difference.
Per year.
No comments. No comment. Sekarang ni budak anak-anak banyak mahal. I just want to say to the government. Okay, next.
Next is for the women career comebacks program. Because these women career comebacks, they are more focusing on those women who resign and then take a break for a period of 2 years, at least 2 years, and come back to the work industry. This woman comeback tax incentive is eligible to women, definitely women. Okay. Women. And then it's effective, the employment income received from 2025 to 2028. And it's applicable to apply and approved by the Telecom Malaysia.
So, my comments, ESG is coming. ESG have been in place already. We talk about equalities. Now we talk about women comebacks. It's unfair to guys, right? It's unfair to male. Anyhow, this thing also have been put in. I think this is proposed for many years already. Basically, it will encourage women to come back and work. So government says that if you come back and work, and then government will say that your income will be exempted. That's good, right? Term and condition apply. You need to go through approval from talent corporation. If you're a woman, for the past few years you have been in home, stay at home, take care of your kids, things like that. Or say, talk to your incoming boss or talk to your incoming HR. You say you have this kind of incentive. Okay? Trust me, many HRs not aware of this. Trust me, not many bosses are aware of this. Okay? But you have women not working for years. Remember this. Maybe it's a good time to come back to work. Okay?
Okay. Next will be the tax exemptions for the angel investor. This tax exemption actually is to encourage the investment in the tech startup company. This exemptions is granted to the aggregate income level, and then the investment is made for a period from 1st January 2024 until 31st December 2026.
This thing also in place for many years. I would say these extensions. We will say that what is angel investor is like to qualify for angel investor, term condition also applies. You need to get approval from which department? I can't remember the name. I think you need to get approval from one government bodies to prove your income level or to prove your assets. Okay. Second thing, once you have once you invest in a startup, okay, the cost of your investment
will be exempt from aggregate income.
Yes, it's good. It's jolly good. So I always advise my high net worth clients that maybe instead of paying high tax, you may consider angel investors. Enjoy your body. I think it's MacCap. Sorry, I may be wrong. Okay, MacCap. Then invest certain sum of amount in this new startup, and let's say your income, you're going to pay 100,000 tax. Instead of paying 100,000, your 100,000 can deduct off your cost of investment. Term and conditions applies. If not sure, Google yourself or understand now. Okay, so we have covered tax exemptions. Basically, we have covered 3 categories already: personal, company, tax exemptions. I think now we're going to briefly cover tax incentive. We are not going into very details because there's a lot of formalities, a lot of terms and conditions, which I don't think today is the right time to cover tax incentive. For preliminary study, go through our social medias, or most of the tax incentives is governed by MIDA. You can get tons of information from MIDAs, or you can talk to Miss Lim. She's quite an expert in MIDAs. Okay, we talk about. Okay, I think she will discuss.
So key highlights on the tax incentive from MIDA. First, number one, because of the new Industrial Master Plan 2030, these budgets propose that the reinvestment tax allowance, the qualifying capital expenditure, and also the statutory income to offset. They have reviewed the rates given. So there's a table, definitely there's a table in the appendix given during the budget. So from here we can see they divide into tiers 1, 100%, tiers 2, 60%, and then the statutory income to be offset again is under tier 1 is also 100% and tier 2, 70%. So basically it's more on the rates granted for this tax incentive.
I think this is with effective from 1st of January 2024. Remember all these tax incentive, there's a term, there's a durations. Watch out the date. If the state government say until 2025, meaning after 2025, no more already. Unless the government extend things like that. Okay? Please be mindful of all these things. Second thing is we're still waiting for guideline, all these things. We don't know yet. We don't know anything detail yet. Akan datang. What I can say is akan datang. Okay? Next.
Next, tax incentive, they are more focused on the service hub, global service hub. Regarding this global service hub, they propose that this incentive granted for a new company and also the existing company, and then they granted the exemption period for 5 plus 5 years, and then also additional proposed tax rate given for the global service hub.
I think maybe I can elaborate more. See, just now, first part of tax incentive, we more talk about manufacturing.
Yes.
Manufacturing. Okay? So now we talk about global service hubs. It's more on service. If you are HQ for your multinational companies, it can be many categories. Okay, I'm not going to cover in detail all these things. Okay, please refer back to our social medias or you can proceed to Midas to ask all these things. Okay, the next thing I think she's going to cover also is agricultures. So I think these 3 pillars is the main focus of our economy: manufacturing, service, and agriculture. So as long as you involved in agricultures, talk to us. Every time you are tanam sayur, then we will ask you to apply for tax incentive and like that. Okay. So with this, anything you want to elaborate?
There's a part to elaborate is that the automation in manufacturing services and also agriculture service. Because the industrial 4.0, then they expanded the accelerated capital allowance for the commodities center.
So as long as you are in what I say is manufacturing, service, or agriculture, talk to us. We will advise you. Say, come back to service. We did apply tax incentive for logistic companies. Of course, logistic company meaning integrated logistic company, from forwarder, shipping, warehousing, all these things. We did have experience before. So do not underestimate. If you think you're eligible, it's good. You talk to us or you talk to your associations. If you belong to forwarding, you talk to them. Maybe they can give you some tips, things like that. Or you go to MIDA, you talk to them.
Next is more on to attract Malaysians local at overseas to come back to Malaysia, and then they propose the returning expert program. This program is not a new program actually. It's been a long time ago so, and then they just review the criteria for the tax incentive. They granted the income tax at a fixed rate of 15% on the employment income received by that individual person who returned from overseas for a consecutive 5 years, 5 YAs, consecutive YAs.
The term is expert. Okay, expert. So meaning you must be specialized in certain. You must have some skill. Okay, not necessarily you work in Singapore for as a waitress or thing like that. You want to come back, no such thing. Certain expertise.
And also professions.
Yes. Okay. Susah lah sekarang, because Singapore is 3.5 already, right? Who want to come back? I also don't know. Okay.
Okay.
I think the last part is green technology.
Green technology, yes.
It had been in place for many years. As government is very encouraging, because everyone is talking about green, okay? So government also gives some incentive in the past already. Basically, it's very comprehensive. I'm not going to cover, Muslim is not going to cover today. It's beyond our topic today. So, as I say, go to our social media. We have a full write-up, or go to Maida. It's not Maida, I think it's Hijau, what is the body name? I think there's one body.
But application is applied to Maida.
Maida, okay.
Yes.
So, or you talk to Muslim, thing like that.
It's Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation.
It's something like if you build a building which comply with green technologies, then you can apply certain incentive.
Yes.
Okay? So I'm covered 4 areas already.
Correct.
So next, I'm going to cover stamp duties. Okay, what's the main changes on stamp duty, Muslim?
Actually, not much changes on the stamp duty. Basically, it covers two scope of area. One is transfer of the property ownerships by renouncement of the rights, and the second one is property owned by non-citizen. For the transfer of property ownership by renouncement of rights, they propose that the fixed duty at 10 ringgit will be imposed on the transfer, instead of the ad valorem rate under the first schedule of the Stamp Act 1949.
I think it's a good move lah. I think at least $10 we can get a copy ready, right? Okay? I think this can be done by the lawyers lah. So I'm not going to cover much on the stamp duty parts, okay?
Okay.
Second thing is non-citizen, right?
Yes, non-citizen. They propose a flat rate stamp duty at 4% imposed on the instruments of the transfer of the property owned by foreigner and also non-citizen individuals.
Good. So stamp duty, nothing much.
Yes.
Next, move to indirect tax. I think it made a hoo-ha 2 weeks ago, okay? The first hoo-ha, Muslim.
There's an increase in service tax from 6% to 8%.
So,
and it's they propose to exclude the sector of telecommunication and also food and beverage to ease the burden of citizens.
no comments, okay? So,
but this service tax, they also expanded the scope to logistic. For those logistic, brokerage, underwriting and karaoke services, now you have to take note because now you are within the scopes of the service tax.
So let's summarize. 6 to 8%. Certain industry is exempted. Basically, cover those essential things. Essential industry like telecommunication, F&B, things like that. But government also take opportunity to expand, to include more. Okay, details. You can refer back to our custom website, things like that. Okay, next.
Next will be the import duty and sales tax exemption. This is applicable to those companies who is more manufacturing aids. So the key details is this, that you are eligible to those manufacturer on the importations and locally produced of manufacturing aids, and then this is effective from 1st January 2024.
So still, because we talk about Malaysia, we talk about direct tax, we talk about indirect tax. If direct tax, of course, is government under RRB. Okay, indirect is Custom Department, Royal Custom Malaysia. So, likewise, any exemptions, normal procedures go through MIDAS. Then next.
The last one is the excise duty. This excise duty was imposed for those to take care of the well-being of our citizens. This excise duty, they propose two scopes. One is the sugar consumptions on the beverage. The second one is for chewing tobacco, which is the cigarettes.
I think the sugar beverage, I think government talked years ago.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. We go to the last one. The last two are in fact.
Last two, yes.
Okay. We cover some payroll issues which come out from this tax budget. The major one, of course, everyone talk about EPF. Okay. What's that? What are the main changes or what are the main proposals?
The main proposals for EPF actually, number one is they introduce a new EPF flexible account. This is a new introduction. Then followed by reviewing the iSaraan program, iSuri program, and iSayang program. These three programs is purely increase the limits of the programs. For iSaraan programs is applicable for self-employee work, and they increase the contribution of 50,000 per year, and then it's limited to 5,000 for life. Following is the iSuri. So from the word suri, we can know it's actually more eligible to housewife. It's more for housewife, where they increase the contribution 300 per year, and then limited it for 3,000 per life. From the iSayang is if your wife would like to transfer the portions to your husband, it covers under this iSayang program.
I think the most one should be flexible account. I don't talk about I1 now. Okay, flexible account whereby no comment. No comments. Okay, no comment. Okay. Then next proceed is to social.
Yes, social is also another part under payroll, which is they have a review into the social contribution. Basically, this part they are more on increase the salary ceiling for where it's from it's up to the maximum ceiling at the 6,000. The salary.
Previously, it's up to maximum is 5.
5 or 4.
Now it's 6K.
Yes.
I think. Yes. Fair enough, lah. Increased salary has increased already. Okay, next.
Next is the special incentive for private sector who employed those vulnerables. This one they got 1,500 per month for a period of 6 months.
We have covered payroll. I think the most, we will come to the last one. I think the most important one, the most trendy one, the most hoo-ha one. Okay? Which Ms. Lim will cover. The first one is capital gain tax.
Yes, capital gain tax, CGT. Okay, this one they propose that any disposals of an unlisted share company, they would like to impose it. They propose to impose CGT. So what is the rate of the CGT? Basically, they divide into 2 periods of time. One is before 1st March 2024. Another one is from 1st March 2024 next year. And you can see the CGT rate that they propose is that tax paid for before 1st March 2024. The taxpayer actually they can choose 10% from the net gain of the disposal of the shares or 2% from the gross sales value.
It can be a lot, right?
Yes, it can be a lot.
2 things. Cut-off time, the date, you must remember.
1st March.
1st March 2024. Okay? 2nd March, we're still waiting for the guideline from IRBs. When we receive any latest news, we will inform you guys. Okay?
But I would like to further add on, there's exceptional rules for this CGT. Basically, this one, they exclude the IPO, which is approved by Bursa Malaysia, and also any restructuring of the shares within the same group.
Next.
Next, another hoo-ha.
Another hoo-ha.
Another hoo-ha is the high value good tax.
No, I don't buy any premium good. I don't have Gucci. I don't have LV bag, anything like that. So nothing to me, So this for the rich man people, okay. I think this is also in place. I think last budget or last budget already. Okay.
Yes.
So basically, governments try to expand the revenue stream. So so one of the way is capital gain tax is good. Second is high value good tax. I'm not going to cover. I don't think she need to cover. Basically, it's for the rich people. I don't know. Sometimes I also look at young people. They also buy Gucci, LV. So I don't say rich people. I say they buy premium goods. Okay.
Luxury goods. So, but anyhow, those who want to buy, take the benefits during this period of time before they implement it to buy the luxury goods. Because 5 to 10% is not a small amount. If the item, the value of the goods is very high. Right?
They can afford 10,000. 1,000 is what? Right?
Okay.
No comment. So I think next we're going to cover the most interesting, the most important tax changes in coming years. Okay, e-invoice. Okay, some client ask me, how come Malaysia so advanced one? No. E-invoice have been in place in many countries. You surprise some less developed country like Laos or Cambodia. I'm not sure. Laos, Philippines, they have implemented e-invoice for years already. Malaysia is just follow. This has been in place in many countries for many years already. It's never invented in Malaysia. Okay, so Miss Lim will talk to us what's an invoice, thing like that. Okay, come.
This e-invoice actually is nothing. It's not new because it's introduced in
GST. GST time. GST. Now we have to call back GST a few years back. Okay.
Yes, and it become a hoo-ha in last year. They also come out a few guidelines or some explanation on this e-invoice. But this budget actually is extended, where the implementations, the mandatory implementation for these invoicings will start beginning from 1st August next year, 2024. And then the scopes actually covered for those businesses where the annual income or the sales exceeding 100 millions. But how about those below 100 millions? When the implementation will come, so it will be on the second phase. The enforcement date for this other below that threshold will be implemented from 1st July 2025 onwards.
So it takes certain years.
Correct.
So the first round is big company. How big? There's a threshold. What is e-invoice? Basically, this thing have been in place. It's like for those who are going through the GST. I think we are familiar with e-invoice because nowadays, like, you issue invoice, send to clients. It can be normal way by post. It can be emails. Okay, it can be sent from the system. They add in other layers. Okay, instead of sending to Miss Lim from my side, they will go through this area first. This will validate something like that, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about layman terms. Then after that, it will issue the invoice to Miss Lim. At least this invoice is something like
Endorsed
by the government.
Yes.
Good or bad, you decide. I'm not going to say. Okay? So, start multinational company, big revenues. Okay, for SME, I would say is that most of the SME they use softwares, accounting softwares. I cannot guarantee lah. Talk to your local
Service vendor, software vendor.
software vendors. Definitely they will take care of everything. Then your developing will be settled already. For those clients, you still using handwriting one, bookkeeping one, handwriting one. No comment. I'm not going to say anything. I wish you all the best. Okay? For SME, because for those clients who use customized softwares, sometimes they use ERP software customized. Maybe also it's good time discuss with your vendors. Make sure you follow IRB requirements, whereby IRB do have some very good websites on e-invoice. Read through it. If your vendor cannot settle, I think it's good time to source another vendor already. Okay?
Okay.
So my little advice is that you think your SME will wait until 3 years, 4 years. No. Next year onwards, somehow you have some effect. Because your supplier may be big multinational companies. They are the first batch who use e-invoice. Then you can have first-hand experience on e-invoice already. Understand? Yeah. So talk to your vendors. Chances are your accounting software vendor will take care of everything already, unless they don't want to do business in Malaysia. Okay. So with this, any other matters?
It almost covers those essentials budget 2024. Yeah.
So my little advice, on and off, RRB will issue some guidelines. Law will be passed through gazette orders. We will update in our social media or on our newsletter. Feel free to read. Okay, we update you. Okay. With this, I thank you, Ms. Lim.
Thank you, Mr. Koh.
I thank you, my peoples who organize these webinars. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a nice weekend.